So you want to get your music in front of millions of people and get a huge paycheck for the songs you write. All right, let's do it. Hey y'all, I'm Jen Leah from Women in Stereo, and today I want to talk to y'all about sync licensing, which is what it's called when you get your music placed on movies, advertisements, TV shows, video games, podcasts, YouTube, etc., etc. For example, if you listen to my podcast, hint, hint, I hired someone to write my intro music, and then I had to license the song they wrote to be able to use it to my heart's content. Whoops, wrong intro music. You always hear music in basically every single thing that we watch, but what a lot of people don't know is it's not always a specific composer hired to write a specific song for the movie or TV, or not always the big artist that gets licensed out from their label for their big song. A lot of the time it's from indie labels or even straight from independent artists submitting their songs for placement, which in turn puts a pretty hefty paycheck right in their pocket. So let's talk for real about how to do this. It's a lot to unpack and it can get super messy, but that's okay. We like messy here. I'm going to show y'all the easiest possible way for y'all to get your foot in the door, and we'll call that door number 2. And no, it's got nothing to do with stalking music supervisors on LinkedIn and cold emailing them about your super cool song you think would be perfect for the Riverdale soundtrack. Speaking of messy, I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling it this week. 2020's feeling like that air in outer space that you can't breathe in. I feel like I'm slowly being crushed by a giant space foot, and I'm a giant space ant. I don't know why it had to be space or ants.
I think I need a nap.
Hey, I'm back, and now that I've wasted a bunch of your time, I'm going to tell you how to get your songs placed and how to get you money. For most major television and movies, there is an upfront fee and a back-end royalty that can be very high. For this reason and many others, these placements are pretty hard to land. Music supervisors will send out briefs for what they're looking for. It's very competitive and they get lots and lots of submissions from people who represent artists, composers, and producers. They have a way better ability to cut through all of the red tape that goes into sync licensing. So what do you do when you have no one representing you? Does this mean you can't do it? Nope. First of all, before we go ahead and walk through door number 2, I know I threw some hard shade earlier, but I do want to say, and I'll say it again louder, that networking is never not a good idea. So connect with anyone and everyone who has anything to do with sync licensing or connections to the placements that you want, and let them know that you're interested in the process. And it wouldn't hurt to follow some music supervisors on LinkedIn and see what they post and see what kind of things they're looking for. No stalking though. That's icky and illegal. Now back to the main point of the video. When you don't have label backing, there are agencies that sign deals with artists and producers, and they pitch their music for larger sync licensing deals. These companies have direct relationships with the music supervisors we are not stalking on LinkedIn and can usually get you those large placements on movies, TV, advertisements, etc. This, by the way, is door number 1. It can, however, be very difficult to get signed to one of these agencies, but still, you should try. This is where door number 3 comes in with something called micro licensing companies. These companies have you sign up, usually for a monthly or a yearly fee. Your music goes into their library, and then clients of all types can browse through it, and when someone picks your song, they handle all of the licensing and all that red tape stuff. These websites are really attractive to smaller production companies and people making videos for their own businesses, or bloggers, YouTubers, etc. But lately, I've actually been hearing of a few stories where someone got a big HBO deal, someone got a big MTV deal. These huge deals probably aren't that common, but they do happen. And if these bigger companies keep having good experiences using these sites, then maybe they'll keep coming around. Maybe they want to spend less money on licensing, maybe they want more original music. Who knows? But in the end, it doesn't really matter who's licensing your music, whether it's a big company like HBO or a YouTuber, because you're still getting paid for it and you still have a lot of potential to reach a wider audience. I know someone who went from 50 streams to over 100,000 almost overnight because they were featured in a popular YouTuber's video one time. This is no joke, y'all, and it can be a powerful tool for independent artists. That's extremely accessible. I'm going to list a bunch of these sites down below in the description box. Just make sure that you do your research and find out which one works best for you. They all have a few different policies of exclusivity or the way they pay you. For example, some of them pay an upfront fee per song, and some of them pay you in royalties. Some of them have exclusive contracts to where you cannot, if you get signed up with them, you cannot sign up with other competing companies. So like I said, just do your research, check them out, and see which one works for you personally as the artist. A few more tips. It's important to know 100% who owns your music. If you have a co-write with someone, or if someone produced one of your songs and they have a writing credit, just work out all the kinks before you throw your songs out there and get paid for them, because you don't want it coming back and biting you in the butt. Also, these sites don't take just anyone. You do have to submit and be approved. So make sure that your songs that you are submitting are studio quality, or at least polished enough to sound like studio quality so it sounds really good in whoever's video that wants to hire you. And arguably the most important thing, have good songs, which brings me to my next and final point. Try and avoid the trends of sync licensing and what type of music is being used heavily right now. A lot of artists and composers try to chase these trends and just end up making really inauthentic and forced music that doesn't do well anyway because it's super competitive. So just make what you love and you will find a perfect fit for you and your music. Alright y'all, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something valuable out of it. I really appreciate you for watching my channel. If you want, you can stick around and subscribe for music industry tip videos released every Friday. And if you really like listening to me talk, then you can check out my podcast. I feature stories and real talk from up-and-coming women in music. So that's it. Check out the links I left for y'all below and leave me a comment to say hi, and have a great week. Bye y'all.